Hey everybody, so let's get into a video talking about these tracking devices. They've been out now for several years, way before I got into insurance. I have personally never had one officially. There was actually a time when we purchased vehicles in our business name, and we went to kind of like redo our insurance to note that. At the time we were with Geico, and Geico like put us on this commercial plan, but then it required these tracking devices in the car, and it was just like a whole mess of stuff, and I didn't like it. I thought it's kind of sketchy. I'd done a little bit of research on it. I didn't like it, and that was before me obviously getting into insurance at all. So since I've been in insurance, it's not like I all of a sudden like have this like book and it tells me all their hacks and what they do and how to do it, but I've ran into talking with people who have had it or do have it, or hey, listen, yeah, I do want to go ahead and save. I'm just throwing this number out there. I do want to go ahead and save, $300 a year and put this tracking device on me because I know I'm a nice, good, safe driver. Or hey, I want to put it on my teenager, right, to track them and make sure that they're not going 140 miles an hour down the road. So I've ran into it, but I still, I feel like the teenager, there's probably something there that probably makes sense, to put a little bit of box them in a little bit to know that they're being tracked. However, I think there are tracking devices you, as a just individual, can go and buy and put in your vehicle. And that information stays private just to you versus the insurance company. So insurance companies, they use the law of large numbers to do things, right? That's how they quote everything. They are for-profit businesses, so they are in the business of making money and paying people and being profitable. And a lot of the big names, right, publicly traded companies. So they got to make money. But I've already kind of heard some horror stories. Some crazy stuff that's happened with these things. And I have a few notes here to talk about, right? I mean, they're going to track you. They're going to track everything. And the key is some of these things are going to go in your vehicle, and some of these things are going to be on your phone and in an app. Well, if it's in your vehicle, right, what happens if your spouse drives it, your friend, a family member, for whatever reason, they drive it, right? They have, go fast or do hard braking, is another one, or kind of speed up, slow down, right? Everything's kind of tracked, from these, right? And they can lower your score, which if your score gets lower, guess what? Your insurance is going to go up because you become higher risk. They have the right to do that. And ultimately, they're going to have this information permanently with you. And another thing they can do is, what if they sell that information? What if they sell that information to other insurance companies who now know this, who are also not going to give you a good insurance deal? What if they sell your data to, marketing and advertising companies so they know where you are when you're there, and they can solicit your, we all know our phones listen to us, and the second you say deer stand, right, now on your Instagram and your Facebook is going to be all kinds of ads about deer stands for sale. So what they can do that, right? So they can do target advertising. They can sell that. I think that's probably a lower thing on there, but I mean, it's just something they can do. I'm sure like all of them, they all say they don't, and they don't all, probably fully track it and all that, but it's a lie. They do it. Another kind of crazy thing too is, I don't say crazy, it makes sense, right? They look at, right, time of day, days that you drive, frequency of trips, random trips. All these things can have negative effects, such as I was talking to a friend, and we probably going to be shopping his insurance here next couple of months. And he's with a company, and he has a smart device and never really had much problems out of it, likes it. All of a sudden, he got tiered down in like the lowest possible grading tier. I missed my turn. I can go right through there. He got into like the lowest possible grading tier, which means his insurance is going to shoot up the next time it renews. And so he made some phone calls and figure out why. Well, after a Tennessee game, right, we've had a lot of late Tennessee games. Well, guess what? By the time you get out of the game, you leave the stadium, you get out of traffic, you get home, you're driving at midnight, at 1 a.m. sometimes. Well, and if that's on a Saturday night, guess who else drives usually on Saturday nights at midnight, 1 a.m.? Drunk drivers. Their risk of thinking that you're drinking alcohol, or your risk of being on the road, potentially getting hit by a drunk driver, goes up. So they view you more as, again, high risk. It's a thing that is a real thing. Time of day and stuff that you drive. What if it's crazy and you actually, you pick up a bar job, right? I mean, you're driving at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm going to go straight right here. These are things that can affect you as the time of day that you are driving. Another thing that they don't like is making random trips. So I had a friend who was doing delivering for like an Uber Eats is what we'll call it. So hey, listen, at the house, all of a sudden picks up, drives over here, back to the house. 20 minutes later, picks up, drives over here. Those are very random, non-trackable trips that software's like, we don't understand what's going on, right? It's not like you're going to work and back. It's not like you're going to your favorite restaurant weekly and back, right? You're going various different places, various addresses, in a lot of areas that you don't drive frequently. And when you go to areas that you don't drive frequently, because it tracks it, you're more likely to have a wreck in an area that you don't know versus an area that you know. Another thing, right? So if this is in your car, right, your friends, as I mentioned this earlier, right, your friends driving can affect your score. Hey, listen, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to let my mom, if my cousin needs to borrow my truck to do some work and haul some stuff off my truck bed. How they drive can affect you, right? The system doesn't know that's not you. If it's your app, here's some crazy stories, right? If you're a passenger in somebody else's car, it doesn't know that you're not driving. It doesn't know that that's not you driving. It doesn't know you're in the passenger seat. So their driving can actually affect you. Effect, I don't know the difference. I just say whatever. But their driving, can affect you and lower your score. Let's see. Oh, dang. I had another one there that just slipped my mind. My paper like fell over here and let's see. Affect you. So obviously those are just some scenarios that I don't like it. I think ultimately it's set up to hurt you. I don't know of necessarily I do remember the situation we'll talk about, but I don't know of a certain situation where it's like, hey, because of they caught you doing something, they didn't pay out a claim or something. I don't know that they can actually do that. Don't really know the fine print of that, but I still am not going to recommend it. But another situation, and this was on one of the insurance groups that I'm in, and it was funny. It was actually the insurance owner. So the owner of the company, and he was just sharing the story, went to a theme park, rode a roller coaster. And because the roller coaster, is going all this and that and jerks and slow and fast and turns and all this. Well, he had his tracking device. Of course, it's, always in the app in the background, recording. Well, it recorded that as him driving and said that he submitted the claim and got it shot back. Was like, no, this is you driving. And he said, well, obviously, I have a relationship with the underwriter, at there. So I called the underwriter and was like, hey, man, here I am, this is me here, at the theme park here, here's the time, like I'm not driving. And so luckily, because of his connections and stuff, was able to kind of get it fixed, the situation. But that's just another one, right? Of craziness on a roller coaster and it thinking that you are in a car because of how fast that's going. But if you have a question on these things, they do save you money, and ultimately, right, for the, cookie cutter person that just goes the job and back and, isn't going out late and weird hours or making random trips all the time, might be a good thing. Teenager might be a good thing, but I think there's devices out there now that especially for teenagers, you can do that probably make more sense. And so you can have that conversation with your teenager if they're speeding versus the insurance company saying, hey, you know what? Actually, your 16-year-old's going 120 miles an hour last week. We're actually going to drop them from the policy in 30 days. Bye. You never want that conversation to happen, and it could. So, but as always, guys, if you got questions, real estate insurance, always feel free to holler. Happy to answer any questions you got. See ya.